Don't knock us out, Thistle.
We are live.
Yay! I am old dude, and she is
Lady Thistle. Hello. And
You're supposed to say he is.
she's
Mother of Dragons.
very much
And he, God, dog.
Richard York, Asher Streamward son.
as you can tell, we worked a really long time on that intro. That will probably go down as one of the better ones on this channel for sure.
Really good.
So, thank y'all for joining us on Hump Day, and Hump Days is Theory Days. And I decided to start a new tradition. On Theory Days, I will not wear the cowboy hat. I will wear my moonshine cap. So, yeah, moonshine. I don't know if you can see that or not. Moonshine. But, okay. Lady Thistle has the list of topics. But Richard had brought one in the home stretch. So what we might do is start with Thistle, and one of her topics, and then jump to what Richard had brought up, giving a big shout out to the Green Bard in his latest video. Oh wow, I like that shirt, Lady Thistle.
Yeah, she's got the good shirt on.
Yeah.
So Chris is waving from Hard Home. He says it's quiet, too quiet. Oh my God. Thistle.
That's all.
I love it. Oh,
It's
you were
covered in
showing us
paint.
the shirt. Okay, girl. Chris
My
the Crow
chair.
is waiting from Hard Home. Chris, stay vigilant. Yes. Eccentric Excrement says it's so quiet. Mother Roy, because I've fallen before, asked son if he would come over when I showered. He refused and asked, "What do we say to death?" Oh, you did too good a job.
Yeah.
Now he's using it against you. Sanji! Hi, Sanji!
Hey! You didn't beat Chris, but better luck on Friday.
Can't win them all. If you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm crafting. So,
do we know this eccentric excrement?
Some crazy dude who's stalking Lady Thistle, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't even know him.
Yeah.
He lives in my basement.
And his voice, I'll go ahead and tell you, his voice sounds like somebody I've heard on YouTube before on a different channel. I don't know what it is. It's weird. But okay. Lady Thistle, you want to take us to the first topic for today?
Do you just want me to pick one randomly?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Get crazy.
Lady's choice. If you want to touch on no magic real quick, I'm pretty sure you could dispel all the rumors in just one or two sentences, and then we can go on to your next topic. So if you want to take that one away, go right ahead.
One or two sentences. Yeah, the theory that there's no magic in A Song of Ice and Fire is silly. Stop it.
Boo! Do that,
George R. Martin has stated magic grows in each story, and he decided to put magic in the stories when he decided to put dragons. So in the discussion,
part.
yeah.
I can defend this one a little bit. When they say that, what they mean is that it's sci-fi, and that was it Arthur C. Clarke that says that there's no difference between magic and sufficiently advanced technology. So the theory is that we're living in this sufficiently advanced technology to the point where they basically created magic through science somehow. That's
advanced technology that still lives in stone towers. And
does it matter? I mean, no, they're saying that's leftover technology.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Right.
I would argue all of that. I would say that's all good, but I would argue that science is science and magic is magic. And there's some forms of magic that you're never going to achieve through science, right? I mean, theoretically.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I just think that there's some of it. And I think, and I can't be sure, but I thought that there was George in an interview at some point had said where they're like, well, how do you explain that you can medically do this or do this? And he's like, it's magic. I don't know how to explain it. So, But
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying the argument. This is the argument, right? And the argument is that he himself has said that there's no difference, but that a story is a story, right? I mean, like in I think it's in Dream Song Volume 3, he says it's all just furniture. Story is a story. He doesn't care about the difference between fantasy and horror and science fiction. And
Right. All right. The difference between fantasy, horror, and science fiction is saying one thing, but hey, deck of cards, pause. But for George to call it magic and say that magic increases with each book, and he decided after putting dragons in the story to add magic to the story is the only reason I won't lean toward that way of thinking for the story. I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know that it makes much difference. It's just you look at his sci-fi, right? And he's got spaceships propelled through telekinesis, right? And people reading people's minds and creating I mean, it's basically glamour and animation of corpses and all this stuff, right? I mean, he's done all that in his specific science fiction worlds. Have animated corpses and propelling spaceships through telekinesis.
Right.
And
well,
so,
I mean, I would agree with you
are science fiction
100%. Originally, chances are, before he added dragons, that is all this story was going to be, was a continuation of all of the things that he's done before. But for him to say that when I decided to put dragons in the story, I had decided to put magic in the story as well. Kind of squashes that. Now, is that to say that some of what we perceive as magic might be something else?
Sure.
Maybe.
He's even planted seeds that the dragons are science experiments, though, right? So that's kind of the thing is
like as far as the go, or
even what he's specifically added there is he's got seeds in his history that he's given us that's a science experiment, right?
Right, but he specifically said that he added magic to the story when he added dragons. He didn't say that the science experiment that became dragons is the reason
that magic is a science experiment in the history. So,
but
but you're talking about scientists in his story claiming that it is a science experiment. You know what I mean? That's not yours.
Yeah, again, like I said, I don't think it makes much difference. I don't think it matters that much. I've always said that it's not going to be a big deal if he decides to put a nod to it all being secret sci-fi at the end, and he throws us this, like old new dude says, he throws a Statue of Liberty in there, or he throws a Vulcan or whatever. He could decide to give a nod to his own science, right? His own science fiction, and that's, to me, is not going to destroy the story and totally change that. But then I'm a person who thinks that if you wake up and it's a dream, that makes it more real, not less real, and more interesting, not less interesting. So anyway,
it was all a dream, and Rick Grimes is coma.
We can move on. It's not like I said. I'm not sure if it actually makes much difference, and therefore if it's really that big a deal to discuss.
I think it would to some people. There's like a whole argument out there on whether or not these books, the show, all of it is fantasy or sci-fi, and there's people that are like, this is not high fantasy, and this is not this, and this is not that. So, as a cheeky aside, I have to say, for like netizens and like people online, it would be, they would make a big deal out of it. They'll make a big deal out of anything I say.
Sure.
Okay, we can move on just because it's magic. All right, what's next, Lady Fizzle?
I'm just gonna start at the top, I think.
Okay.
It's pretty random, but what do you think about Uncle Garyon being the Shrouded Lord?
Ooh.
I like that one.
Let's start.
Now, does that mean that, okay, that's the Lannister, right?
Yeah, that's the one that went to
would that mean that it is potential for Bright Roar to be there with him?
Y'all know how I feel about Bright Roar.
Yes. What's fun about
Well, I feel
that's
like
refreshed.
I feel like it's possible but I just can't make it really match. And I don't know. I keep forgetting to like put time into it as well. But I always wondered if maybe Bright Roar was the sword that one of Euron's men is holding. Like, you know how Euron's man has like, what do they call it? Red Rain or something. He has a Valyrian steel sword. It's red. And I wonder if they took it from him. If they met upon with Iron Men on their journey, and instead of going to Old Valyria, or maybe they found the sword or something, and then they came across Euron's ship, and Euron took it from him.
Okay, I kind of like that because
that's my theory for Bright Roar.
I kind of like that because you've got. When we see in the story this idea of the Lannisters wanting their Valyrian steel to be red, right? And then you've got it. So yeah, I kind of like it. I like it.
Well, I mean, that would be an easier way for George to get Bright Roar back in the story.
Back on the page.
Right. Yeah, to get it on our page in our story in the next book or the last book. That would probably be a whole lot easier than the Shrouded Lord.
I don't. Yeah, I tend to agree that makes sense. Maybe part of removing the Shrouded Lord, as he partially has, is because he changed his mind about how to do that. Right? Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe he decided, no, the Ironborn are bringing back things from Valyria. I'm going to go over there, and maybe that's why he killed a chapter. Right? If we look at the early drafts, he had a chapter of Tyrion actually meeting the Shrouded Lord. Is that right?
No, he met the Drowned God.
Really?
Yeah, when he was pulled under the river, he met the Drowned God.
That was supposed to be the Shrouded Lord.
You sure?
I thought so.
I mean, they were right there on the Bridge of Sorrows, right? Is that
what
it's called? Sorrows? When he drowned. I didn't know about this.
Dream, right?
Yeah, there's I mean, there's been a lot of coverage recently of some of the early drafts because there's a Reddit user named G-Steph who's put together a big list of discrepancies between earlier drafts of each of the books and the published drafts.
My favorite is that Jaime becomes king, but
so for those that don't want to go to Reddit, Preston's been covering that stuff. Because I know there's somebody on this stream that doesn't like to go to Reddit.
I don't know who that is.
Can't imagine.
But
so anyway, the point is maybe that was the plan. Maybe so maybe that Uncle Jerry is the Shrouded Lord, but maybe
yeah,
but maybe he's kind of writing that part out.
We know how my memory is, and for some reason, I was thinking it was the Drowned God when he went under the water, and he decided to take it out because he did not want to specifically verify a god, even though it could have been all in Tyrion's head and not actually have happened at all. But I don't know. I can't. You got me guessing myself now. So.
I feel that way a lot, dude. Don't feel bad. I get that way a lot. I'm like, I feel this way, and then like 10 minutes after conversation with this, I'm like,
so that would make the Shrouded Lord a stone lion. I mean, I like it.
Okay.
I mean, if he actually did go to Valyria and contracted grayscale, and then went to where a shit ton of grayscale people are, I still think that grayscale and the right people could possibly help against the White Walkers, against their cold touch, just because of the protection their messed up skin could possibly have. And I mean, you got an earth sounding type of magic versus an ice or at least a water type of magic. Fighting each other. Nice.
Yes, time to rhinestone.
Hell yeah.
She's the rhinestone cowgirl.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I definitely like that one.
What do you guys think in the chat? You guys think Garion could be Le Shrouded Lord? I like that. I think it makes sense. I mean, nobody wants that for anybody, but It's a great theory. So
I give it 2 thumbs up. We can do the Joel and Ebert system. Siskel and Ebert.
Oh.
Do you want to move on to Hidden Targaryens?
Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll jump back to her list. So yeah, take it away, Richard.
I'm still here. Sorry, just grabbing stuff.
I didn't notice you left.
Oh.
I think the Dunk one was the only one that I hadn't really been all that familiar with. We've talked a few times about how Craster's incest could be either Brendan Rivers or Maester Aemon, right? And you could see my version of Maester Aemon would probably be that there was some sort of refugee type situation where they had to bring a wildling woman to him to tend and to care for. That'd be my and then they kind of kicked her back out, and then she showed up later with his baby, and he got the newborn, because he talks about as if from personal experience this idea of him having.
I mean, he could swear he never saw the baby, but
Aragorn was originally going to be Jaime before the 5-year gap was removed, says Claude.
You hush your mouth.
I don't think I like that.
You're dead to me.
Anyway, so we actually did discuss that one a little bit in the past, but
if I'm not mistaken, we discussed that it really didn't matter. The only way the who the father of Craster was, if it was Bloodraven, then that would give the blood possibly maybe a little bit more magical potency to it versus Aemon. But I mean,
like his discussion that means that they've actually given Stannis more king's blood rather than less, right? Because Mance is a king of the wildlings. They don't really treat their kings the same way in terms of the power of blood, especially. And so, ever thought about Duncan being an Umber, descended from the Winter Wolves?
The Winter Wolves. It's a good one. I wouldn't mind Duncan.
Getting back to his roots somewhat. I kind of do like the Duncan as a Targaryen. It's specifically Aegon IV, because then it makes Sir Maynard's quip about how we're all bastards of Aegon IV really funny.
Yeah.
And if Aegon IV probably didn't list everybody when he said he legitimized all his bastards, and then Aemon is half Dane, his blood is also so it's power beyond the cards.
Ooh, nice deck. That's
good. Good one.
So I do kind of like this. There's a certain irony that John tried to send away somebody with king's blood and actually gave them somebody with real king's blood versus something that's arguably not really king's blood, because they don't really consider their kings to be passing their power through their bloodline.
Right.
And then if Dunk is actually a legitimized bastard, but king, then it does create some interesting irony with him feeling so out of place, especially like me, you like the interpretation that the Blackfires were correct. And so Egg is actually from an illegitimate line. And then you've got Egg from an illegitimate line and Dunk as the legitimized son of the king.
George likes irony.
George likes that twist.
Yeah. Well, he told me about it yesterday, and then sent me to Words of Ice and Fire, whatever it is, word search, and then showed me the quib about us all being bastards. I really love it. I think it's awesome. And like I said, I give big shout out to the Green Bard.
Absolutely. I haven't heard that one. It was great to see.
Yeah, I love when I hear something new. It definitely it tends to spark the creative juices and the brain mill and new rabbit holes to go down.
obviously my favorite is Val, right? Which because it makes the whole story being about this concept of overlooking female heirs. It has the Danes remembering the female heir, which and the Danes represent the remembering Asherah's the Dione, and so to me that kind of ties the whole theme of the series together with the being about remembering the past, remembering the female leaders that have been erased from history, and and explains why Arthur would be there, and of course he's introduced twice to us, both times mistaken identity and the Dornishman's wife, and yada yada yada. Anyway,
well, I mean, I even pointed out the other day when we get a throwback to Dunk calling the fiddler my lord and all that stuff, and then you got Mance calling Val princess. I mean, it's people are saying the truth, and it's not taken as the truth by the people around them or by us.
Stannis insisting that she's rightful heir to Winterfell and a princess, and John's like, I told him 100 times.
Yeah. That's not how it works.
Yeah, Stannis does not strike me as a person that listens to anybody. Except Mel. Well, I mean, sex will get you away with a lot.
That's just John forgetting his one dang lesson he has to learn over and over and over again. That he doesn't know fucking everything.
His one Dane lesson, you mean? John's a Dane.
All right. Anyway, is there any other secret Targaryens we need to talk about besides Craster and Gilly and Monster and Duncan?
So
many. And Dunk, which by that logic, Brienne as well.
Right, and Brienne's already a Targaryen anyway. It's because somewhere in their history they showed the Tarths being Tards, so she may have multiple Targaryen ancestors, and then I guess I would argue Myrcella, of course, because I still love the idea if the books actually came out and had Myrcella ride a dragon and Val be revealed plus R plus L baby, the whole fandom arguing over which one of them counts as being one of the three heads of the dragon.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, the greatest secret Targaryen would be Jaime, right? I mean,
that's the implication of Myrcella riding a dragon.
Right. That's why the draft of him becoming king is my favorite. It's because he should be.
Timeout. You're in timeout. I'm just kidding.
Anything else we need to talk about with secret Targs, or should we go back to the list?
Yeah, let's go back to the list. I'd like to try to cover quite a bit today, or just touch on.
The next theory on the list is N plus A equals J. I'm pretty sure we all know.
Yeah, bitches.
We've done that before. Do we really need to rehash this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got that one.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Then it's Tyrion Chimera, which we covered, and then it is Howland and Ashara equals Mira and Jojen.
Ooh, I like it, but I don't like it.
Sure. I've never properly heard it, so
yeah, I've never really worked through it all the way.
Yeah,
this is Chloe's, right? This is Girls Gone Canon.
This one where she goes to the Stark tent, but it's actually Howland Reed that she sees while she's in the tent, correct?
Well, the root of the theory is that why is Howland so focused on who Ashara Dane danced with, right? And so if you believe that Ashara didn't die, and that the story is important to the Reeds. Oh, and Deep Geek has done this too. That's his pod.
Yeah, but he's such a small channel. We won't count him.
Anyway, so I mean, so why are the Reeds so focused on Ashara Dane? Why is Howland so focused on Ashara Dane and who she dances with? Well,
I got an answer for that.
He's in love with her.
That's not the answer.
Well, I agree with you. I think the answer is that they're supposed to represent one of these houses that remembers female leaders and female heirs.
Okay, before you go any further, and I forget, so I'm not actually being rude. I'm just trying to be.
No, I want to hear it.
Because you know how my memory is. If I let you finish the sentence, I'll forget everything I was thinking. The reason that Howland Reed is so focused on Ashara Dane, remember, I've mentioned it before, and I'm not the only one. Anytime that the mind has been messed with, and the fixation of that messery becomes a obsession. The cat being obsessed with making sure that that dagger that she's going all the way to King's Landing, she repeatedly reaches under her clothes. The obsession, the repeating of a certain topic in someone's mind and actions after we think Brandon leaping has happened, that's the same thing. The whole reason that Howland Reed was at the tourney of Harrenhal was to ensure that certain people met, and one of those people was Ashara Dane. So him fixating on Ashara Dane and fixating on who she met was because of Brandon leaping, that twiddling in the brain that's being done by the powers that be, the green men.
Sounds like Dune. Fate that's guided by prescience and telekinesis, says eccentric.
Hey, do me a favor, Thistle. Next time he's in the shower, flush the toilet.
Don't take chances. Just dump some cold water on his ass. I don't flush the toilet. That's passive aggressive.
I got even one better. After you flush the toilet, if you take 2 of those web shooters that shoots the stringy cheese that stains.
Oh, now you're talking. Now we're
get on each side of the curtain and just start webbing his ass up and down with that stringy cheese while he's taking a shower.
That's all. See, that's the winner.
Okay.
All right, sorry. But yeah, that's why I think he's fixated on her. But go ahead, Richard. I'm sorry.
So anyway, so the theory is that Howland actually was in love with Ashara, and that he married Ashara. That what's her, is it Gianna Reed? Is that the name?
Which mirrors another being in love with Ashara at a tourney. And
I've always said that I'm not a fan of this, and it's because Ashara Dane is supposed to be tall and fair, and Gianna Reed is supposed to be of the Crannogman, and so I'm not a fan of this particular theory, but I
give this one 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, like I never really even cared to look into it, because in order to wonder why the story revolves so much around Ashara, you'd have to not think that question is already answered by Jon Snow's parentage. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
For us, it's like, well, yeah, it's obvious why she's so focused on. You know what I mean? But if you think R + L = J, then you have to find a new reason for Ashara to be important, and I don't need that reason. So.
And of course, I know some of you like the Order of the Green Hands version of Ashara Dane as Septa Lemore. I like the fact that if in fact Ashara Dane is Jon's mother, then Cat twice associates her as the shadow or the shadowy secret, and Quaithe has eyes wet and shiny, which sure sounds like laughing eyes to me.
And she's a shadow binder.
And a shadow, right? And she's Quaithe of the shadow, and so that ties into the shadow and the shadowy secret. And then you've got I know you like the Septa Lemore. And then we've got I feel like symbolically she's visiting Dany. She seems kind of like a mother goddess the way she's appearing to Dany, and then you've got Toodle's theory of how he lays out that Shadrich is Howland Reed, and by the same logic, then Quaithe has eyes that are the exact color of Ashara Dane's eyes, and so he can be both. The timeline doesn't contradict it. Okay, and then as I said, I believe that Lizzie would argue
until George R. R. Martin decides which way it goes with it.
And Lizzie would argue for Septa Lemore, I believe.
I like the Septula more. I do. I like her for Septula more. I think I just think it's very intentional that we don't see the color of her eyes, and I don't think it's just that Tyrion doesn't notice because he's so busy looking at her boobs and her shiny wet body. Like we don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
They have
I got distracted. What were you saying?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
Huh?
We know she's had a child. We know everything. We know intricate details of her body, and not the color of her eyes. And we know George is a tricky bird. Oh, I think
And
so.
even after having a child with slightly sagging boobs, that she is extremely attractive.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi,
Charles.
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 Lizzie was asking for you earlier. Where were you?
It's true. That's true. Yeah, I like her as Septula more. I think there's a reason. I used
to think that Quaithe was Rayella just because of all the mother symbolism, and that Septula Moore was Chardane. I've kind of switched that, right? Because I like the idea that everybody there is dyeing their hair to hide who they are, and so why do we not assume that she's also dyeing her hair to hide who she is? And then the age estimate kind of fits better that way.
What about Quaithe as Shiara Sea Star? I've heard that one out there floating around as well. Charles, like Brendan Rivers and Shiara Sea Star, and their love spans time, and they're staying alive for I don't know why. I just know that the theory is that she might be Shiara Sea Star. I've just heard it. I don't know. I haven't really thought a lot about it, but I just remember going, huh.
Yeah, people like the idea that then Danny is being advised by one of the Targaryens, while Bran is being advised by
another. Yeah.
The other, yeah.
Good.
And John being influenced by the other two.
It's on.
That was on there.
It's on there.
It's
on the list.
It's on the list.
All right. Do we need to go back to the list?
Go back to the list.
The next one on the list is who wrote the pink letter, and the options I have down are Mance, Stannis, Ramsay, Asha, Mel, Barbary Dustin, and Theon. Is that everyone?
What about Bowen Marsh?
What about what?
Bowen Marsh.
Well, jeepers.
What about Alistair Thorne?
No. I mean, I do think that there's some signs that so the order that we went through this, I'd actually come to that conclusion from listening to Godless Fingers. When I was listening to it, it seemed like they were sort of implying that it could have been somebody from within the. I was kind of surprised that they didn't. When they had a guest on later and talked about it, they didn't bring up anything at all like that. But when I was listening to them, I kind of thought that's what they were implying. But it kind of goes back to the Dragon Demands question: who benefits, right?
Yeah.
And so you've got information in there that. But we know Bowen Marsh was eating with. We know Bowen Marsh was eating with.
Is that a little dog or a parrot?
For once, it's not my dogs. we know.
It sounded like a parrot arguing with itself.
We know Bowen Marsh was eating with Mance when he wasn't wearing his bones, so he's likely to have seen through the glamour, right? He's the one that benefits. So there's information in there that Ramsay would be unlikely to get through torture, but that Bowen could have. And it seems likely that there really was a letter that arrived, right? Clytus is terrified. He seems to know that there's something bad about this letter.
He's freaking out.
Why does he know that? And of course the answer is, well, he's in on the conspiracy. It's the fact that it's not the neat pink button. It's smeared wax. So that tells you somebody has tried to heat up the wax and reseal the letter.
Yes.
It means that it has to be from somebody within Castle Black. The person who benefits is Bowen Marsh. He's the person who has the extra information that Ramsay would be unlikely to. So Order of the Green Hand has this video. I don't basically already come to the same conclusion, but they came up with some things that I didn't even notice when they were explaining it.
Yeah.
Gray rat.
And so anyway, I really like the Bowen Marsh idea. Now that means there is a separate pink letter that's the real pink letter.
Yeah.
I don't know if they burned it or what, but what other people think?
We're getting the rhinestones in.
Well, you the last time we talked about this, you got me sold on the Bowen Marsh theory part.
I gotta cut my bangs.
It feels like we've been told over and over again. You can tell whether a letter is legit by looking at the seal and looking at the handwriting. And he's been planting those seeds forever. And then he tells us the spiky handwriting every other time that Ramsey sends a letter.
Handwriting.
And he gives us the neat pink button every time that Ramsey sends a letter.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it's the smeared wax and no mention of any spiky handwriting. So it sure feels like he's telling us this is not legit. And implying that somebody has intercepted it and changed it.
Yeah, well, Ramsey was never on my list for sure.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
This
I'm
will
a fan of Stannis and Theon team up to write the pink.
Can I-
letter.
Ooh.
I haven't thought about that one.
That's a pretty common interpretation out there.
Just don't let me forget to ask where you guys think Alistair Thorne is after we're done with this one.
So one of the reasons that one is kind of good is I think old new dude hasn't read the sample chapters, but Stannis implies that people are going to believe that he's dead, that he's going to convince people that he's dead. He strongly implies in Theon's first sample chapter that he is going to convince the world that he's dead. And so how is he going to do that, right? Somehow he has exposed a maester and determined where the ravens go in the chapter. So it sure feels like it's being laid out that, and so then the question would be, well, Theon has some of this information, and Stannis has some of the information. Stannis is likely to know that Mance isn't. He quite likely knew what Melisandre's plans were with Mance, and that Mance isn't dead, right? So he's got some of that information. Theon's got a whole lot of that information. The two of them working together, especially when we know that he seems to be plotting something with the Maester's ravens, and wants the world to believe that he's dead. So there's definitely some reasons to believe that one's another feasible theory.
Yeah, those are my top two for sure. Lizzie, I think that Alistair Thorne is out there and found the real Horn of Jormor or whatever his name is, and is going to freaking bring the wall down on Jon's head in revenge.
And then wake the ice dragon. Damn.
It's either that or he's sitting at Craster Creek.
Book of Grudges shit right there.
Yeah, I know. He's at Craster's eating hard sausage. I don't know.
Plotting his revenge. He's like, got it. Gotcha, bitch. I'll wait.
He's sitting there like the Mr. Evil on Austin Powers.
Dr. Evil.
I do think he's as you said, trying. He's maybe thinks he's trying to be a good Night's Watchman. That's
yeah.
I don't know.
He might not like that he got sent north of the wall as a ranger, but I think that's exactly what he's doing is being as good of a ranger as he can. But I mean, I don't have as negative an opinion of Alistair Thorne as everybody else does. I know I get bashed and laughed at.
I just wonder what he's up to.
Just ranging.
I hope he's really
gone. No one's really talking about him. Who's he working with? Who's he working for? What's he up to? What's he thinking about? Anyways.
He dies like a fly.
He's cold hands. Oh wait, no.
I hope Hostine Frey dies like a fly. I hope he falls through the ice. First one through.
Cold hands is Maester Wireless. We already figured that out. Or actually, I figured that out with Girls Gone Canon.
I mean it every time.
Okay, back to the list.
Back to the list.
Cold Hands is Benjen.
No, boo.
We all vote.
Benzin is Dario. Everybody knows that.
I have a one-word response in capital letters. No.
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 In red with a line under it. Right there in the dang margins.
Yeah.
Good
All
talk.
Yep. All right. That was part of the quiz one we had today. All right.
Yeah.
Back to the list.
Stannis kills Arnulf is the next one.
What is it?
Stannis kills Arnold Karstark.
Arnulf Karstark.
Is he the one in the ice cells? Or is he the one that
Yeah.
is in the sample chapter that was like brought forward with the maester?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, right? I think. I don't know. I didn't refresh on any of these. I wrote these down so long
Yeah,
ago.
which one's Cregan and which one's Arnulf? And
There's
Isn't Arnulf the one that tries to betray them?
yeah, I mean, isn't this basically already answered in the sample chapter? I mean, he totally exposes them and captures them.
He's
Yeah.
definitely going to kill them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
But as far
one
as the
theory
one in
is
the ice cells goes, I don't know what he's doing right now.
now one theory is that he's going to glamour him to look like Theon, and then kill him while he's
Yeah,
glamour.
that's it. That's this one. That's the one that's.
I like that.
Ooh, I like that one. Okay, we're back. We're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Interest peaked. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's kind of good. I kind of like that one. The idea that he's going to kill him, feed him to the heart tree, or burn him, one or the
Feed
other.
him to the heart tree. I mean,
It.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
wait, what?
Back to the list.
We're not fans of blood sacrifice. The next thing on the list is
We're
no magic and
civilized.
sacrifice and fire, which we've covered. The next
Yeah,
one
there's
on
magic.
the list is written and then crossed out. And like George, I have a little no underlined, which is Cold Hands is the Night's King.
No. All right.
I reject it.
I reject it too.
we reject you.
Cold Hands is like from the original Long Night is the next one.
Well,
He's like,
wait a minute. So actually, if he's let's say he's the Night King, can we make that work? Can we make that work?
I can't.
okay.
Oh, I'm trying to think of some.
One good reason.
Okay.
Give me one good reason why the Night King is gonna bring Bran through the wall, take him north.
Because okay, so here's so I don't buy this at all, by the way. But
Yeah.
but
By the way,
but I can make the argument. So here's the argument. So Jon Snow is the new Night King. He's the new last hero, and the original one was Jon Snow as the Lord Commander, right? And to atone for his mistakes, he was sent north, and Jon is going to echo him, and he's going to be sent north, and that's why we saw that at the end of the show. And anyway, this is I don't buy this. I'm just
So he's like Cain. He's like cursed to walk the earth for
Right.
all eternity for betrayal.
there you go.
I don't like that actually.
Wow, I actually switched you from a hard no to maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't like it. It's just so depressing.
But I
Anyway.
also have to believe that then, Bran is the enemy in a way, kind of, right? Like, isn't this facilitating? You know what I mean? Like the new.
What if that was his sole purpose for being sent north of the wall and forced to live forever, was to be there and atone by helping Bran? Whenever that was, he was sitting there all this time waiting for waiting for Bloodraven, waiting for Bran. That's what he was there. He'd been sitting on a hill, frozen solid, and then poof, a magic fire lit up underneath his ass. He's like, oh, I got to go down, talk to Bloodraven, and now I got to help Bran. And
You're
I
a
mean,
monster.
that was the whole purpose for his atonement, was to just
You're a monster, Bran. You're a monster.
Your monster.
Bran, the bane of my existence. That's what people will call him.
Yeah, like you made your bed, now sleep in it. Great.
No, but what was your other cold hand?
Now grow in it.
He was from the original Long Night.
Yeah, like he
Oh yeah, I've heard this
original
one.
Raven's Teeth, maybe I think it was.
Yeah, or he's one of the 12 companions of the last hero, or yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see the similar circumstances for the Night King, but the Night King, if we're going to go that route, would probably make the better of the two situations more plausible.
I still like the Maester Wireless.
Yeah,
But the Night King one, that way, at least he really is. When he says brother, he's really telling the truth. That's
Right.
kind of interesting. Anyway,
What?
Yep. All right, back to the list.
Brienne kills Jamie.
Ah, you hush your mouth.
Yeah.
You have been sitting there going like this the
Yeah, but-
entire time, waiting till we get there, and I give it 2 thumbs down.
no, if you mean Brienne kills Jamie, then I'm totally on board.
No, I mean she kills him.
No.
Dead.
Nope. Now she might climb on top of him, but no, she's not going to kill him.
But on the other hand, at least that's closer to the truth than what most of the fandom believes.
That
So, well, the fact that like every single content creator out there is like, oh, the character who spent the entire first book arguing against giving Tyrion a trial and said it's not too late after they explicitly publicly stated he had a right to trial by combat, says not too late to deny him a trial, who then doesn't give a trial to Merritt Frey, and doesn't give a trial to Podrick Payne, and doesn't give a trial to Hyle Hunt, and doesn't give a trial to Brienne of Tarth, is going to take the person who said Jamie Lannister, after Jamie Lannister sends his regards, is going to be like, you know what? I've changed my mind. Now I'm going to be totally fair to you, and is going to give Jamie a trial. Like,
I think it's going to be more not underneath the in the hill, whatever, the cave, more out in the field when Brienne gets Jamie alone type of potential killing. But I'm not.
right, and take the sword and slay the Kingslayer really means I want you to bring the Kingslayer back alive so I can be the character that gives him a fair trial.
What if, hear me out, devil's advocate. Yeah, she doesn't want to give him a trial. They can tell by the way she's clutching at her throat and angrily rasping at them. But we don't know like what Brienne or Jamie or any of them are going to say and who they may sway with their words into thinking like, yeah, this is kind of messed up. Like maybe we should give them a trial. Like mob mentality is a thing too. So it could be they convince them into a trial by combat and, like.
I will say this, that the only one that would have a bloody sword will be Jamie.
It's not going to be Hyle Hunt, that's for sure. R.I.P. big guy. But you're not important to the plot. You got to go. That's the only reason he's still hanging around Brienne. We have to have somebody to kill off, right?
Yeah, because it's not going to be Jamie.
It's not going to be Jamie. Not yet.
Not yet. Not ever.
She's not giving the
Not
phrase.
giving the phrase a trial. Right, that's my point. She doesn't give
cares
it.
About phrase though. That's because no one cares about the phrase. Like honestly, they're sitting there in King's Landing being like, "Can we serve a couple up? Like, what can we do about them?" So like the fact that they're just being kind of shaved off, I don't think anybody's too worried about that. And in the Riverlands where it's happening, people are probably like, yeah, like behind the scenes. So I don't think it matters. I think if it changes and it's not like a fray, and maybe that's again what falls into the trial by combat and why Jamie gets a trial and Brienne gets a trial, because these are not frays.
Redacted.
But
I don't think she's gonna give Jamie a trial. I think it's a test of Brienne's loyalty. Kill him now, and Jamie, and it's. I think it's gonna very, very, very closely mirror the scene with Jon and the half hand. It's gonna be almost just like that. Jamie is going to sacrifice himself in the same way to save her.
So you think he's dying like in this? This is the chapter chunk where he goes.
Yeah.
Really?
I was wiping a tear away, just so y'all know.
I don't think he survives this interaction. I don't think there's any logical way for him to survive this interaction.
I think that's a reasonable, straightforward interpretation and way better than the interpretation of trial. Personally, I think she's going to fake his death, but I think that's a much
Love
Or
that.
reasonable
Yeah, all you got to do is
interpretation of
bring
what's
back the golden hand and say, "I killed him."
That's more what I think's
There
happened.
we go. Love that.
I like it better than a trial.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that totally too. It does make more sense. So who kills Hal Hunt then?
He's dead already, girl. He is dead. They never cut him down. Why would
Oh,
they?
well, that's fair. I mean, yeah.
They cut
talks a
Brienne
lot.
down because they need her to kill Jamie. They cut Pod down because they need him to bring Brienne back.
Right.
Otherwise, what's stopping her from just leaving?
Okay, so he's a
Right.
hostage.
I
Okay.
will burn it all to the
And
ground.
so,
I
in
just
order
need him
to
live.
save a boy who is a very similar age to Bran, who is innocent, you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's
Who
going to
she's been
bring
teaching.
Jamie's story full circle, where he's basically going to sacrifice himself to save Pod and Brienne.
Okay, I like the sacrificing angle only as long as it ends with he's faked his death. They faked his death.
Not
Brought
happening.
back the golden hand. No.
That's what I think is happening.
And Richard cheered me up, and now I don't know
Three
what.
of us are with you. I think three of us are with you on that, Lissy.
I would drop money on it right now that he doesn't.
This
You
is
heard it here.
okay.
You all
This
heard
is
it.
Chris's sword
right.
right here. Don't make
I
me
think
draw
that's
this,
the
ladies.
best interpretation of what's
But-
going on here.
When you
And
draw a sword, you have to draw blood. So be careful.
I'm not afraid of you.
Sir Roderick is rolling.
I'm
over.
afraid of you.
You should be.
I know. That's
Maybe
why I'm
not.
afraid of you.
He's dead.
Oh, no.
Bro is gone.
No.
Had a good run.
No.
I don't believe it.
All right, the
It's
next
a-
thing is I don't know why I would even write this down, but R + L = J is the next theory on the list.
plus there you go, Sarah. We're done.
Insert rude noise.
Wait a minute. I'll go get something out of the bathroom to help this argument. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
Next.
Toilet paper,
Next.
wipe it away.
Young Griff is a Blackfire is the next one. Do any of us believe Young Griff is a Blackfire?
I don't.
I don't think I do. I guess I don't
No.
really know.
See,
Power lies
now,
where they believe it lies. If they say he's a black guy, things are bad.
Everybody else thinks he's doing the Blackfires, and I think he's doing the dance. Right? I think he's doing the blacks and the greens.
I think Young Griff's identity will depend on John's identity. As much as I am a N plus A = J all day,
Okay?
I until I see George write it, I always have that fear in the back of my head that, oh crap, this is going to be wrong. So that little sliver of me that says, oh crap, this is going to be wrong. If John is the middle child of three babies that were born at Tower of Joy, then of course that would make Fagon, Young Griff, a Blackfire. But 99.9999 Fagon is Aegon.
Well,
And
so
John.
are condoms, old new dude, but those don't always work either.
Jamie's still going to live. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm much more interested in the blacks and the greens repeating than the Blackfires repeating, personally, because we've already Blackfires repeating.
Yeah,
The
but-
Blackfires repeating, it's
History is
Here's
a
the
wheel.
thing. How many times have we been told about Blackfires in this story, in Dunk's story,
At least
and
five.
I mean, yeah,
is doing the Blackfires.
that's what you did there. But I mean,
Blackfires.
we've heard Blackfire, and that has to pay off sometime. I would think that
Yeah, I mean,
George say
I
about
can
hanging
see-
up, you don't hang up a pack of wolves if you're not going to like take them
Yeah.
off.
well, so the one thing I could see about that is while is that this is the story of female inheritance being overlooked, and so the claiming the Blackfires are gone it is the story of the female inheritance being overlooked. So you could see, if as I've said, that the Blackfires are arguably the more legitimate line, and then therefore you've got the female through that plus A = J.
I was thinking full back tattoo, like N +
Full
A
back
= J, right
tattoo.
down,
yeah,
Committed.
underneath. Yeah,
Commitment.
arm sleeve. That's what it's got to be.
right. Would drop like $1,500 on an N + A.
Yeah, sure.
So none of us like this except old new dude Hedges a little tiny.
Well, I mean, like I say, that it's the 99.99999. You know where I am, and then in the back of my mind, I'm like, George is going to pull a rope a dope, and it's going to piss me off. All signs point this way. He's going to go that way and be like, okay, no. But yeah,
all signs point this way until the road just stops and you drive off the cliff.
Yeah, well, he writes the road going a different direction for no reason whatsoever. All right, back to the list.
No discernible reason to you yet.
I like how the one that implies that the Blackfriars are right is Aemon, who says, he specifically says that he might be named for his grandfather instead of his uncle or whatever.
I don't remember that.
He says, I was named for Aemon the Dragon Knight, who was my uncle or possibly my grandfather, depending on who you believe, or something like that. Yeah. He makes some comment along those lines.
He does.
Okay.
He does to John. I think it's when they're, when John's got the bloody bucket in the rookery, right? And he's talking to him about the difference between honor and duty or whatever.
Yeah. Love is the death of duty and support.
Yeah, that's it. That's the scene.
Yep.
Next.
Joffrey sent cat's paw to kill Bran.
What?
Joffrey sent the cat's paw to kill Bran.
No, it was Littlefinger.
It was Mance.
It was Mance. It was Littlefinger.
Mance tells us.
It was definitely Dario Naharis.
Mance says, I grabbed a bag of silver. Like, he tells us right there.
I grabbed a bag of silver and I'm there.
But
George R. Martin says, yes, Littlefinger has a hidden influence on Joffrey, but we must take into account the distance. And the easiest way to take into account the distance is that Littlefinger is a skin changer / possible low-level greenseer. Brought on by his near-death experience with Brandon. He was visited by the three-eyed crow. It was Littlefinger. So go ahead. Go ahead, Richard.
My parties would argue that, and Toodles would argue that it's Robert. So we're told only a fool would send some assassin armed with their own dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Jorah basically answers the question of is Robert a fool with yes. We're told that it's one of the king's men. We're told that anyway. So we're told that Robert gets drunk and forgets what he does.
Right.
What he did the night before. Yeah. And we're told that he wanted to do this, right? Because that was the whole conversation that leads. Well, Joffrey was present when he said he wanted this done, right? Yeah. That's the whole thing, right? So that's his argument. Is we're being it's all being laid out. We're being told a fool would send somebody like it's really weird for Joffrey to decide to frame his own father, but Robert we're being told is a fool. We're being told a fool would arm with. Anyway, that's the argument for Robert.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. On the dagger itself, we're told that it is a plain-looking dagger that a child would easily misinterpret as this isn't worth a whole lot of money because chances are he didn't open the dagger up and look at the steel.
That's Joffrey.
Right, but stop. That's why I don't think it's Joffrey, because George gives us a plausible reason why it is Joffrey. And my thing is, I think that it's Littlefinger, and the dagger was specifically used because its lineage to certain people could be 100% verified, causing the war between the Lannisters and the Starks.
But I want to answer this question real quick. This is an act. This is an act of love. This is an act of honor. This is a mercy killing. The whole concept of this killing is Robert wants to kill him. Robert's not doing it because he hates Ned. Robert's not doing it to piss off Ned. Robert's doing it to help Ned as an honorable assistance to his best friend. Right? This is a dying child that Robert wants to kill because he loves Ned. It's an act of love. It's an act of mercy. It's an act of honor. And claiming that an act of love, mercy, and honor is not something that Mance or Arthur Dane would do is weird to me. An act of love and honor is something that they would do. Again, this is killing a person who everyone thinks is dying and needs to have their life be given the gift of mercy. Tyrion is shocked when he recovers, even though he's been told by Maester Luwin that it's possible that he'll recover. Tyrion is still completely convinced. He apologizes to Jon when the letter comes that Bran is okay, because he's 100% certain that was dying. And most of the people don't have that same information from Luwin potentially telling them that there's a chance that he's going to survive. So you've got people who, even when they're told that, believe there's essentially a 100% chance he's dying.
Okay. Now, I don't know.
Well, and even when Jon gets the news from Lord Mormont that he's alive, Lord Mormont's like, but he's a cripple. Like, you got that part right, buddy? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, he was so sad for Jon. Jon's like, I'm just so glad he's alive. And Lord Mormont was like,
it's a society where people really do believe that it's a fate worse than death.
Yeah.
What did you say, Thistle?
Pod's not buying it. He's saying it's just not. It can't be honorable to hire a secret assassin, so he's not buying it. But anyway, that's my favorite theory, because it also, I believe, serves the purpose of trying to keep Ned in the North. And
I would like to point this out. Okay, we have Bran wanting to say goodbye to Winterfell, and Summer tries to stop him. And if Summer is the old gods and Bloodraven, they try to stop him because they know he's going to fall. So the desire to go say goodbye to the crows is brought on by something else. And what's close to a crow? Three-eyed crow. All right. Now we got Bran that is fallen, but he did not die. So the three-eyed crow did not get what he wanted. He did not get Bran gone and out of the story to stop the old gods or Bloodraven or whoever side that falls on. Well, now we have to have another way of killing Bran to get this powerful Greenseer out of the story. And like I said, I think Littlefinger is a tool of the three-eyed crow, and sending someone to kill the now Superman that is unconscious and defenseless Super Bran. Now we have the Catspaw and the assassin for another attempt at killing Bran, which fails again. But I still think both times the fall and the dagger were brought on by the three-eyed crow. But now that he can't kill him, he's decided to taint him by entering his dream. Taint. See what I did there? And try to muddy the waters for what Bloodraven wanted Bran for to begin with. But that's just me.
I agree that Bloodraven caused the fall for sure.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying I definitely agree that Bloodraven is causing some of these things to go down, like the fall, and
No, I think the three-eyed crow caused the fall because Summer did not want him to climb.
Climb, Summer pissed.
Yeah.
Well, I think Summer is trying to protect him, but I don't know that means that Summer is necessarily that the person that guides the direwolves through is necessarily not trying to make Bran fall. That I don't think that those two have to be mutually exclusive necessarily, personally.
That's the left hand not knowing the right hand's doing.
Tell me more.
So the case for Joffrey is supposed to be, and I think this one's preposterous, but it's supposed to be that he knows that Robert wants to kill Bran, and he's decided to do what his father wants, but then he's not going to tell his parents. Both his parents want this. But he's not going to tell his parents. He's going to do it in secret. And even though he's got Sandor specifically volunteering to do this, he's then going to somehow find that this type of person. See, that's part of the thing is this guy to me looks like somebody that Mance Rayder would hang out with. Doesn't look like somebody that Robert would find or that Joffrey would find.
Well, Joffrey could have gauged the reaction he got too. Like everybody's freaking out.
So instead of taking Sandor up on his offer, he's going to somehow get a bag of silver, even though we know that he doesn't pay people for things, because we've seen him with Sansa going around and just ordering people to feed him and stuff when he's off.
Not to mention, if it was a Lannister-blooded child that is the crown prince of the realm, it would more likely be gold.
Right. One gold coin would make more sense, right? For Robert or for Joffrey, personally, I think. So of course, one of the biggest arguments in favor of Joffrey is that George has already confirmed this, right? This is the argument that people make. Now, the funny thing is, the people who make that argument are the Order of the Green Hand, who argue that if he was working with people who were making an alternative media version of the story, specifically the app, then and they told him that this was their theory and he confirmed it's true, then it must be true. And my answer is, this is a deliberately ambiguous book series where there's multiple correct interpretations, and him confirming that a media person he partners with has a correct interpretation does not rule out the alternative interpretation, in my opinion.
Agree.
And until I say it, it isn't true. Oh, wait. That came out wrong.
Thistle, you've been awful quiet. What are your opinions on these various theories?
I'm with Pod. I'm right there with Pod. I think it's preposterous. The idea that it's love.
Preposterous?
That it's love and honor to murder a child, a sleeping child in bed.
But isn't that the whole story of Joffrey doing what Robert wants?
I just don't buy it. I don't buy that. I don't buy it. I don't buy that anybody would think that that's a decision anybody would want them to make. You know what I mean? Like that you would make that for.
I would only buy into it because remember when Bran is entering into their great hall at Winterfell, and he's being carried from his horse to the stone wolf chair, and he hears people muttering, and they're like, "You'd be better to be dead." And he like hears people saying that about him all the time. And so like maybe in their minds, I think that's the argument to be made. In their minds, they're thinking like, oh, I'm doing something. This is better for him to be dead than to be crippled for life. I
can see in their world, they're telling themselves, I'm going to do what Ned's love will not allow him to do. That Ned's love for his child is so...
child?
Well, no, Ned won't do it. That's the reason why. I'm not saying it's true. Whoa, hold on. I got a pencil.
He's not even going to.
I'm just saying, in someone's mind in this story that loves Ned, knows that Ned will not kill his own child. I could slightly see that be. Yeah, okay. I'll do it so Ned doesn't have to, or that I know Ned won't do it. But that's not what I think's happened here.
Right.
But
yeah,
well, we know that's Robert's attitude. So what's your answer? Your answer is that Joffrey's trying to impress Robert by not telling him. I mean, what's your answer?
Mine, Littlefinger.
No, I want Thistles.
Oh, I don't think that it is Robert at all. You know what I mean? Like I mean the idea that you're going to kill your best friend's child because you think your friend doesn't have the strength to do it. Like that's
not my point. Joffrey, if your answer is Joffrey, Joffrey is being convinced by Robert.
Yeah, I don't think it's Joffrey.
Who do you think it is?
Who do I think it is? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That sent the cat's paw dagger?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's Joffrey, but I think it's silly to claim that it's Mance being honorable too. Like I don't like that either because I don't think that's
okay. It's Mance trying to convince Robert, trying to convince Ned to stay. Then it's Mance being brutally, if you want to say that, right? I mean he's not exactly above doing some dishonorable things in the first place, I would argue. But
so he's going to wait until a week after Ned's left to have Bran killed to keep Ned in the north.
Yeah, I can see that argument.
As Mance is, you would think that he would have figured out a way to do it while Ned was still in Winterfell. So, out of all that was said here on that subject, I still think it was Littlefinger.
Although, devil's advocate, if he told Ned while he was in Winterfell, Ned may have grieved his son and then gone on to do his duty in the
maybe
south.
trying to get him
He's
back.
already on the road. He might be like, "Fuck, I got to get back, like right now."
Yeah,
and
desperate to get him back
from this duty, like sort of deal. So, I mean, timing wise,
I think it's just to frame Robert. So I think it's to frame Robert is my point, right? And so, yeah, I agree with you. It's a little weird. Like, why wait? If you're going to frame Robert, why wait? I don't know. I don't have an answer to
that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
if you frame Robert at Winterfell, Ned's at full strength in his own castle, and Robert is not.
Robert
if you wait until, basically,
wait for an opportunity to frame Robert.
Yeah.
So it took them that long to get the opportunity. That's possible.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a frame job of Robert, and we even have Tyrion saying to himself, "This doesn't make any sense. It's so easy to make it look like it's an accident for an old man. It was brilliant the way that they killed Jon Arryn. It makes it look like an accident, like an old man died. It's so weird that somebody would use a dagger to kill Bran. Why would you do that?" He's thinking about this and like, it doesn't make any sense. And then he thinks to himself, there's got to be somebody else there that I'm not aware of, another player in the game that I don't know about. Isn't that a disturbing thought? And then, ding, this gets interrupted, right? And so when you see those types of things, to me, that's the answer, right? It's somebody else, somebody he's not thinking about, some other player in the Game of Thrones that he's unaware of, that's in Winterfell, to me, with a bag of silver, that is aided by framing Robert. And actually, Old Newt just pointed out the job is not to, I can't see what that says.
Little finger.
Anyway, the job is not to kill Bran, right? As he pointed out, he's already succeeded once they catch the dagger, right? The job is to frame Robert when he gets an opportunity.
So you're saying Mance hired the cat's paw to pretend like he was going to kill Bran in order to frame Robert for the attempt on Bran's life?
That's the argument, is that the success is getting now he may honestly believe that Bran's better off dead. He may honestly believe that Bran is dying. He may believe that a person is dying should have a mercy killing, right? He may honestly believe all those things. But more important is framing Robert with the dagger.
Okay.
In order to turn Ned against Robert.
Yep.
Now, in my scenario, Littlefinger, Joffrey, Catspaw dude gets caught. Okay. Once he gets caught, then the Three-Eyed Crow's plan is set in motion. But the avatar in this situation of the Old Gods and Bloodraven, Summer, does not allow the Catspaw to say, Joffrey hired me, and now we have the Starks against the prince that's half Lannister, that's going to set forth the Lannister Stark, the War of the Roses, the red versus white. He gets his throat ripped out, and that signifies his inability to say the words that the Three-Eyed Crow needs him to say. Joffrey hired me. So when his throat is ripped out, his voice is literally and figuratively taken away from him to squash the Three-Eyed Crow's plan. Granted, Littlefinger and the Three-Eyed Crow still make this happen, but in this instance, it doesn't work.
Poor unfortunate soul.
Yay.
So sad.
I'll probably need to wrap up pretty soon.
Yeah, we're over our hour mark. And we actually covered quite a few. This is probably my favorite.
That was a good rapid fire.
Yeah, no, I like the rapid. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Later.
Okay, well, here, if you watch this on the rewind there, I'll go ahead and do this again for you so you can read it. We scared him. No. You left. Littlefinger, go away.
For us. Offense taken, sir.
Yeah. It was like, we need to wrap this up. Click.
We made it
No, I bumped the back button. I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Yeah.
this far.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
We
We
made
did
Yeah.
good.
these.
I really like the rapid fire. We don't get too far in the weeds. And yeah, I really do. Okay. This was, yeah, like I said, it's my favorite theories one. But without doubt, definitely want to thank Lady Thistle, Lizzie, and my good friend, the brains of the operation on Mondays and Fridays. Asher Stewart, son.
Thank you.
I'm whispering it because we
for having
disagreed a
us.
couple of times today. But yeah, I don't remember who's the chapter on Friday. Do you remember? Sam.
Sam, yes, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember before he did. Y'all,
Man.
all right,
Double
write that down.
Cold hands.
Chalk one up to me.
Hands. Ooh, that's
All
good.
right.
Okay, let's go.
That's
So
the
okay,
best food.
that was fun. Let's make this short and sweet. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for everybody for doing this. We appreciate it. 14 days until FACON. Woohoo! And
Let's
for
go.
everybody that doesn't know about my King Robert cosplay, this is the boar that kills him. So thank you for Chris the Crow for finding that online for me. I appreciate it. And we will see y'all on Friday. Thanks again for joining us. Y'all take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.